I know this took a while, but as you all know, I did lose all my characters. I just remade everything, and I got my Ellie back all the way to 90 again too. Just doing some threes, and I've been just busy with doing threes, leveling characters and whatnot, and so but I'm finally getting around to making this guide. So here's a elemental guide. This is gonna be a pretty long video right here. So if you can probably, I'm gonna leave the links to the different things in the descriptions below, so you can just go over there and click on whatever you want to watch, or unless you want to watch the whole thing, it's up to you. So here you go. About the talents. Now 5.3. The Stone Bulwark is, I mean, Nature's Guardian is still going to be your best talent, in my opinion. In 5.4, they are reducing the cooldown on Astral Shift, but I'll get to all that later in the 5.4 stuff. But as of now, Nature's Guardian is still the best talent, in my opinion. You can get Stone Bulwark Totem for maybe 2s, but other than that, Nature's Guardian is still the best. And then for a level 30 talent, you can actually go with either one. It's situational depending on comp. Some Ellies do like to use Frozen Power, where they like to Thunderstorm someone and then just root them down there. I personally like Earthgrab Totem a lot better, because for me, like, having Flame Shock and Earth Shock up on targets is like, I would prefer that a lot more than I prefer just using a shock on them. So Earthgrab Totem for me is I think it's the best, and then like very rarely I'll get a Windwalk Totem, but most of the times I won't get it. But so Earthgrab is my choice to go there, which will root everyone around it for some amount of seconds. It's 5 seconds. So that's the way to go with there. Level 45 talents. Honestly, there's 2 options you can go with. The first one is Totemic Projections, which this talent, in my opinion, is, I usually keep this as the best for me, because one, it's easier to get cap totems off, it's easier to root beam someone, but the most important part that I use this for is actually transferring tremor totems. That's such a huge part of this, because a lot of times, like, you and your healer get out of position, and then you get feared in random directions or something, and you get silencing shot for 2 seconds, and then you tremor, but your healer's too far away or something like that. This is going to be huge. Or your healer's for some reason just way out of position. This is going to be a huge talent. So that's amazing. But also, Totemic Restoration is going to be amazing with the tremor macro, where your tremor turns into a 35-second cooldown, which is huge, because all you have to do is kite the priest for like 10 seconds, and then you can tremor every fear. So, or the warlock. So I mean, either way, they're both good talents, just depending on how you play and how you guys position yourselves. But so these are the 2 talents you can go for: Totemic Restoration or Totemic Projections. Now for the level 60 talents, this is where 5.3 changes did it before. Ellie Mastery, in my opinion, I don't like Ellie Mastery anymore. The biggest reason is Lava Burst changed for Ascendance. Like, in my opinion, Ascendance got a semi-nerf. I don't know. Like, I don't know how other people feel. Okay, overall damage on Ascendance is still probably higher than what it was before. But the thing is, it's easier to lock out Ascendance now. So if you're not actually good at juking, or you just don't pop it at the right time, it can easily be interrupted. So even having Ellie Mastery during Ascendance, it's still not that fast of a cast. Because before, Lava Burst used to be like a 1-second cast. You just spam Lava Burst constantly with Ellie Mastery. But now, I like to get Ancestral Swiftness for the or Echo of the Elements, which Echo of the Elements before wasn't this like as big of a talent. It was good, but it wasn't that big. And most of you are saying, why Echo of the Elements? The Echo of the Elements, for like one reason, it's like a 5 or 6% proc chance from what I know. But thing is, it can proc. And I'm sorry, alright. It can proc mastery, but it can proc mastery off of Echo of the Elements. So you can hit a Lava Burst for, let's say, 100k, and then you can proc a mastery off of that for 75k, and Echo of the Elements for 100k. But then that 100k echoed elements can proc another mastery buff for another 75k. So you're actually doing 350k damage off of one lava burst that was 100k. Now you're not gonna see 100k lava bursts almost ever, but I'm just saying that's just a thing. So echoed elements with lava surge procs with good RNG, I have globaled so many people randomly. It's hilarious. And so I love echoed elements, but on teams where hex is a really important thing and getting a hex off is actually really hard, I still prefer ancestral swiftness. So against a lot of teams, I will still be getting ancestral swiftness, as much as it hurts me to not get echoed elements. But so the two talents that I would go for here are NS and echoed elements. So against most caster cleaves, I do go with echoed elements just for that random global out of nowhere. But these are the two talents I go for. And then for level 75 talents, this to me still, Healing Tide Totem is still the best, hands down. Ancestral Guidance can be used at certain points, but the thing is, when you actually have to use a healing, like when you're actually in need of using one of these cooldowns, if you can actually get cast off, then you're not going to die anyways. So there's no point in Ancestral Guidance, you can just heal yourself back up. But so Healing Tide is the best, because even if you're locked out, you're still healing yourself and your group. Conductivity, obviously as a Ellie Shaman, that's completely pointless in my opinion. As Enhance is a little different story, but this is my Ellie guide, so I'm going to keep it with that. Healing Tide is definitely the way to go. And then level 90 talents, this is where all three talents are now somewhat actually usable. Unleash Fury is definitely amazing. Like, this actually does more overall damage than either of these two right here, because now the Flame Tongue weapon increases the lightning bolt damage done by 20% and the lava burst done by 10%. So you could lava burst for a crit on someone, and then you have clear casting, you use Unleash Elements, that's like 30% extra damage on every lava burst after that on Ascendance. So I mean, you're still going to be doing retarded damage on Unleash Fury, and also this mainly you're going to get this when you know you're going to have a hard time actually getting a cast off. So me personally, when I see double melee teams, I usually get Unleash Fury, but if I see like a hunter or a melee or like just a range and a melee, I'll usually get LE Blast, because juking one person is never an issue. Juking two people depends on what comp they're facing. Sometimes like juking two people can get a little annoying, and also double melee on you, they're running around in circles and stuff, that gets a little annoying. But normally for me, if there's two melee, I'll get Unleash Fury. If there's one melee or range, or just two range, I'll always get Elemental Blast, because I love the burst that from the Elemental Blast and just the random RNG crits with it and stuff like that. It's amazing. Now Primal Ellie, this obviously won't do as much damage as these two, but unless you're completely just locked down and your match is only going to last a minute, this actually could be a good talent. I've actually like played around with it. I haven't really played around with it in 3s, but I have done it in 2s, where I just put this out and then I just damage normally, and my Primal Ellie has actually done more damage than me sometimes. Like if I know I'm just gonna get completely locked down, like if I'm playing someone like a Hunter Rogue team in 2s or something like that, I sometimes go with Primal Ellie. So, but for the main part, it's gonna be Unleash Fury and Elemental Blast that are gonna be the talents you want to go for. Now, to talk about the glyphs, this can change quite a bit. Now, the most important glyph, which you always will have, is going to be Glyph of Lightning Shield. Taking 10% less damage for 6 seconds when your Lightning Shield triggers. This is huge. Now, that means it'll always be up if you're getting hit. That 10% damage, you can actually notice that. So, this is a must-have talent, no matter what. These two talents, the next major talents, can be changeable. Now, for right now, I have Glyph of Capacitor Totem, which decreases the casting time on Cap Totem by 2 seconds. Much easier to get stuns off. And then the Glyph of Shaman Rage, which activating your Shaman Rage removes all magical effects, so no deep freezes, combustions, hand hodges, like the DK, well, frost stun, whatever, all the stuff. I mean, so this is obviously amazing. Now, against most teams, if they don't have a Hex spell, or if I think my Hex is going to be important, I always have Hex. So now, obviously if a team doesn't have a magical, like something that you need to dispel magically, I'm going to replace Shamanic Rage with Hex. Or Otherwise, I'm going to replace the cap totem with hex. Now, let's say I'm on a vertical map, like with the vertical axis on it. Sometimes I'll replace, I'll get the thunder glyph instead of the Shaman Rage or the cap totem. Sometimes I'll replace both of them. Like instead of, so let's say if I need hex and I'm on a vertical map, I'll replace the Shaman Rage with hex and I'll replace the cap totem with thunder, because I feel like the thunder is a lot better than getting stuns off. And I'll get the stuns off regardless if I thunder them and then just put it down. They won't be able to kill it. And other times I also use the Ghost Whip glyph, but that's really rarely. And that's again on maps where there's no vertical access and I don't need Shamanistic Rage or Hex. Then I might resort to getting Ghost Whip. And those three, I don't really get any. This is my new Shaman, so I don't really have any other glyphs on here. I'm not even like fully geared yet, or not even close to fully geared. But either way, it doesn't matter right now. At least they're strong. I didn't have that much of a hard time getting 2.2 again. But those are the glyphs for the major glyphs that I would recommend. Lightning Shield always, and then interchangeable glyphs between Shaman Rage, Cap Totem, Thunder Glyph, and Hex. And Ghost Whip, obviously. Alright. And then for the minor talents, I think Totemic Encirclement, that's the only glyph which I would say you have to have. Okay, you don't have to have this, but thing is, if you put down a Healing Tide totem, or if you put down a Fire Elite totem, it's a lot harder to target if there's 3 other totems right there. If there's just one totem, it's really easy to just target it and kill it. Or if you put down a grounding totem to ground something, like, I mean, most people just are gonna like use a spell on it, but if someone actually has to break it, it's much harder to actually click on it or target it. So this is a really nice glyph. It'll basically put down 4 totems at once when you put down 1 totem. Which I also get a question about that, which like how do I do that? And that's how I do that. And then the other 2 don't really matter. It's Astral Recall, but I do like the glyph of Lake Strider. That's something I like. Not because I can run on water when I'm in Ghost Whip. That's a nice buff, but I mean, obviously if you're doing like BGs or just running around near water for some reason. But the main reason is when you're in Ghost Whip, like people, there's a 50% chance of you getting purged off, because Ghost Whip is purgeable. But when you use Ghost Whip, you also get the water walking buff, so they might not be able to purge it instantly. So that's the biggest reason which I use it for. So Totemic Encirclement and Lake Strider are the 2 minor glyphs that I would go for. And that's pretty much it for the talents and glyphs, guys. Okay, the macros that I currently use now, this is for Shaman specific macros. I slash cast, add focus, solar beam. Now, I tend to play with the druid a lot, especially now in 5.3. A lot of LE Shamans are going to be playing with druids because of like LSD or Shadow Priest Warlock, LE Shadow Priest, LE Mage. A lot of these comps use Arrestor Druid, so Arrestor Druids and Disc Priests are going to be like really favorable for LE Shamans. So I do have the slash cast, add focus, solar beam macro, and then I also have regular symbiosis. But you need the focus symbiosis too, so I use that. And then my one-shot burst macro, not really a one-shot anymore, but I mean basically my burst macro is going to be slash cast Ascendance, my on-use trinket, and then Stormlash totem and Elemental Mastery. I don't use Elemental Mastery almost ever, but I just have it in my burst for some reason where I do get Elemental Mastery. There are a few very rare times where I do get Elemental Mastery, but that's in a rare case. But I have it in my macro. It doesn't hurt to have it in there. You can put as many things as you want, even if you don't have them. It's not like it will use them anyways. So that's it. And then I don't like to put Fire Elite in my macro. I like to put Stormlash because I use my Fire Elite almost instantly during most matches. Like as soon as like I know like people aren't gonna kite me and stuff. So Stormlash totem is what I like to put in my one shot. And then I have my Cleanse Healer or slash cast at target and the Cleanse Spirit for both my healer and my partners. And then I have slash cast at focus hex. So focus hex macro, which is obviously just you want that for sure. And then I have my focus wind shear, but this is slash top casting and then slash cast at focus wind shear, because that's the stop casting part is going to be extremely important that you do that, because Otherwise, like especially as an Ellie Shaman where you have run while cast, like you're always running while casting, you're almost never gonna get that wind shear without the macro. You can, I mean, this just makes life a lot easier, and the same thing goes with wind shear with slash stop casting regular wind shear. So you want both of these macros. And then I have the same thing for my grounding totem, slash stop casting grounding totem. So the same rules apply. Someone's casting a frost bomb on you or something like that, and then or there's a trap going off and you're in the middle of the cast, you gotta ground it instantly. And just as I have the cleanse spirits, I also have the healing surges for my healer and my partner. And then I have not really a super heal, but I have this. This is a really old macro I had. I just kept it. It's Gift of the Naru with Healthstone because I refuse to be a dwarf because male Draenei's are the best. So I have Gift of the Naru with Healthstone. So normally I just use Gift of the Naru on like with my partners or something, but if it's on me and I do have a Healthstone, the only time I'm going to need to use a Gift of Naru anyways is when I need a Healthstone anyways. So I just use that as well with it. And then I have two Tremor macros. First is the regular stop casting Tremor totem, but I don't use this anymore. This is what I use now. This is basically what this macro does is that, let's say I have a fire totem down also, and then I put down a Tremor totem, but now I only want to take away the Tremor totem. See, my Tremor totem went away while I just pressed it again, but my fire at least stayed. Normally, when you would recall the totem, all the totems would go away, and you don't want that when you have important, like any important like Healing Tide or Fire Lead or something like that out. You don't want to take that away. So, and if you're using Totemic Restoration, which is right here, you want to instantly take away Tremor totem as soon as you use it. So this macro is a really good macro for that. So you always use it because it works the same way even if you don't use the talent. So it's basically slash stop casting and then click totem frame totem 1 space right button and then slash cast Tremor totem. That's a really good macro. And then now for the general macros that I use, I think these are macros that everyone should try getting used to, which is slash target arena 1, 2, and 3. Clicking on your Gladius or tap targeting or just clicking directly on the frames, that at some points that makes it a lot slower. This is just pure target arena 1, 2, 3 makes it so fast. And now most people out of that, they just when they want to target their focus, they just target either 1, 2, 3 and just use slash focus at them. But what I like to do personally is have slash focus arena 1, 2, and 3. Since I changed it, I tend to change focus a lot, like an extreme amount. So I like to have these 3 also. And for some, I found some macro spaces for them, so it's there anyways. And obviously these aren't, these are my macros for my Warlock and Hunter and stuff. So, but those are the macros that I use for my Ellie Shaman. And slash UI. Basically, the macros that I use, the add-ons that I use are I use add-on control panel obviously, so you can actually do all this while actually being in the game, so you don't have to log out to reset macros and stuff or turn them off and stuff. I use Arena Spy, which I guess it doesn't even work anymore. I don't know if it works or not. This was an old add-on before it didn't tell you like who you were facing and stuff like that, which was nice, but now there's no need for it. I just still have it, I don't know why. Then Auctionator doesn't matter, not for Shamans. Alright, and then I use Bartender for my bars and stuff. It's just much easier. Like I need all these extra bars and stuff. For some characters I even have a lot more bars that I need to use, that I tend to make retarded amounts of macros for some reasons, and so I have a lot of bars, and so Bartender just makes life a lot easier for me. Then Battleground Targets is not needed for arenas, but it's good for BG, so make sure you guys get that. And these aren't just going through all the macro or add-ons you need for Shaman specifically. I use Gladiator Losa, but at most times I don't keep my game sound anymore. But it is a good add-on. Like I sometimes because I guess my game sound is probably much higher when I'm recording, where I don't hear it, but it actually records it in there. in the video. So sometimes you might hear some random chick calling out like scatter shot, big heal, or something like that. I don't even know, probably something like that. And that's probably Gladiator Losa. What you're hearing is that some random chick calling out all the defensive and offensive cooldowns. And I use Gladius, obviously. The default arena frames, I actually like it better to look at casts and stuff, but Gladius is just a lot bigger and it fits in better with my UI. And obviously the looking at the trinkets is really nice too. And recently I think the new upgraded Gladius also shows the offensive cooldowns, so that's also really nice. And then I use Grid, which is just another way to replace the Blizzard UI for raid frames, which obviously is another thing for RBGs. Then I use Healbot. Yes, I do use Healbot, as you can see over here. And the biggest reason I use Healbot is mainly to watch for who's hexed. Like if you actually notice in any of my videos, or if you're ever playing with me against me, I will dispel hex extremely fast. And the reason is I don't click on Healbot to dispel hex, but what I do is that I just look at Healbot to see who's actually hexed. Because I don't know why, because I've been using Healbot for so long back when I was a noob and stuff. It's a lot easier for me to just look at Healbot to see who's hexed and look at the default UI frames. So that's basically what I use it for. And obviously if I'm in an RBG or something, it's just much easier to actually just right click the person that it's on. I mean, it might be a little newbie whatever, but I mean it's been working for me great since forever. So that's the only thing I use Healbot for is. But obviously you guys do know that I do make Healbot Wrestle Shaman videos, which I can't do anymore because I don't have my Wrestle Shaman anymore because all my Shamans were gone. I just had to remake everything. But I did used to use Healbot to heal before, and you could probably find some of those videos if you wanted to. And then I use Juked, which I love. Either you have interrupt bar or Juked. It'll tell you basically the cooldowns when someone interrupts you, or someone like basically misses your interrupt, or at any point they use counterspell or just kick or whatever. It'll tell you the cooldown on it, which is it's just amazing. It's important. I love having it. Obviously you can live without it, but it's something that I personally choose to use. Lose Control, I love this add-on so much. Basically what it does is that if any of well, let's see, if my target is currently CC'd, it'll tell, like, this is the default, but this is what adds in right here. So basically if I'm in a CC, it'll come up over here. If my focus is in a CC, it'll show it over there. There's basically a bigger default UI frame to show when someone's CC'd and stuff like that, which to me is amazing. I love it. So Lose Control, definite add-on that I love to use. And Move Anything, obviously it's just to move everything around. NCA team rating. Now a lot of people ask me after every arena match, I will, in my party chat, I'll post our team's rating, our previous rating, our MMRs, and the other team's ratings, MMRs, and stuff like that. And they're always asking, is like, how do you do that? And that's NCA team rating, is what posts everyone's ratings and MMRs and stuff. And then Omni CC, I love this because if I use a cooldown, let's say I use Healing Tide, it shows 3 minutes on it. I use Gift of Naru 3 minutes. I use Cap Totem 45 seconds. It actually shows you the cooldown on it instead of the little circle, little line thingy going around. This is much easier, so you can know the exact time coming back. Outfitter is pointless now because Blizzard already has their own default UI. But I still have it because I'm used to it, so it's easier for me. Postal obviously doesn't matter for Shamans. Pratt, it doesn't matter, but I'll tell you anyways. It's just right here you see my frames. Like I can do this, and if someone's typing something, I can just Control C, and then I can just copy and paste that anywhere I want. So it's also good for just people you play with. They're like, they have some freaking characters in their names, or someone copying and pasting the names, or someone posts something you want to copy. It's really nice for it. And then there's Recount. Now this is obviously not even close to remotely needed. I just like Recount because I like to see how much damage anyone's doing, how much damage I'm currently doing, like what kill does, how much healing something's doing, or I just like to see all the tiny details. So that's awesome with Recount, which you see over here. And then Reflex, I don't use this anymore, but this is basically it just shows you like all the arenas that I've played basically, or like that you've played, it'll show you your rating currently, it'll show you the MMR you're at, and it'll show you the other team's rating and the MMR they're at. So it's like that way you can see like who you face and what happened, and then you can see the damage that you did against them, and you can see the healing that you did against them, and then you can see if you lost against them, won against them, how many points you lost, all that random stuff, what map you were on, what were the comps, what was the date you played them, stuff like that. And then let's see, after that I have save queue, which I think most people know about this add-on. It's so that you don't randomly leave arenas on accident. It's not foolproof, but I mean it's better than having the normal, like, because randomly some people always leave arenas and everyone QQs about that. I've actually done that myself, so I just got save queue, so there's no leave arena option anymore, which I prefer a lot. And then the best add-on that I personally like as a shaman is Shaman Friend. A lot of you sometimes you guys are asking, it's like, why do I see those lava burst double crits or lightning bolt triple crits or just double lightning bolts and stuff like that on my screen, or what I purge, what I ground, everything that shows up on my screen. I haven't set it up on my Ellie Shaman all the way yet, but if you set this up, it'll tell you all the stuff that you need to know as a shaman, and it's just fun, like knowing how much damage you exactly did or what you grounded, what you purged. It's a lot easier. And then I have no clue what spell order does. I have it, I have no clue what it does, so that's nothing. And then there's a new add-on, Super Guild Invite, I guess it invites people to the guild or something. And then some of the add-ons I just randomly get because I don't know, my friends tell me to get them, I get them. And then I have Tell Me When, which I don't use for my shaman, but it is a really good add-on to show trinket procs or cooldowns on buffs, debuffs, or cooldowns on spells and stuff like that. Tell Me When is a really good add-on for stuff like that. And then I use Violence and Messenger, so if I want to whisper someone, let's see, random person, just whisper. It creates a little box like this. So, and then you can just type to them, and you can have different people, and then I can like I want to whisper this guy too. But then these guys are related for some reason. I just drag them over, and then there's 2 tabs for them. And I can do that with many stuff as I want and stuff like that. So I really like that. So Answer Messenger is nice. And then my UI that I use is Xpearl. Now I don't use I use default raid frames for the party UI, so I don't use that. But I use it for myself and my target and my focus. I love the Xpearl frames. A couple reasons. One is that I can resize it to the way I want a lot easier than the default UI frames or Blizzard UI frames, and then it also shows the percentages and the health that the other teams at, and it shows like buffs and debuffs a lot better. So for me personally, Xpearl is amazing for me. And that's pretty much it for add-ons. The most important part is rotation. Now, an Ellie rotation is obviously, I say rotation, but I don't really mean rotation. It's more of a priority-based system. Now there's 2 different kinds. Okay, rotation and burst, I guess. Now for rotation, or I'm just gonna say rotation instead of priority because it's a lot easier. Basically, there's 2 different ways. There's one with Ellie Blast and there's one with Unleash Fury. Now with Ellie Blast, what you're gonna normally do is have Flame Shock, and then you're gonna Lava Burst, and then use Unleash Elements. Now the reason you're gonna use Lava Burst first is to get clear casting, so that way your next spell damage is increased by 15%, which is really huge. Now, so you're gonna do that. So you're gonna basically Flame Shock, Lava Burst, and you have that, and then you're gonna Unleash Elements. So now your next damage double by a fire spell, it's increased by 30%, and then you're gonna Ellie Blast, and that's the 83k Ellie Blast. And that was with clear casting. So now let me show you what an Ellie Blast would normally do without either one of those buffs. It was 56k, so that's like 36k extra damage. That's still going to be a lot more in an arena match. Obviously it's going to be a little bit lower, but that's a really substantial increase. So you're going to do that, Lava Burst, get clear casting, then Unleash Elements, then you're going to Ellie Blast, and then that's a 96 Ellie Blast right there. Well, that's because my trinket proc. But and then you just go about, and obviously you're going to use Lava Burst on cooldown. So Lava Burst is your hardest hitting ability, and you want to use it always. Keep clear casting up, and then whenever you get Ellie Blast, you can use that. Now, the thing about Ellie Blast is, and obviously you want Flame Shock up at all times, and then Lava Burst is the next importance. Now, Ellie Blast and Unleashed Elements are always going to line up. This is a 15-second cooldown, this is a 12-second cooldown, so when you use this, and then you use Ellie Blast, by the time the Ellie Blast goes off, they're at the same exact cooldown. Ellie Blast this will always come up first, right before it. So these go together perfectly. So you're always going to have Unleashed Elements for Ellie Blast. So that's always going to be your technical rotation for arena matches. So then you're going to Unleash Elements, Ellie Blast right afterwards. And it's going to be a nice Ellie Blast. So, and then aside from that, and then obviously, I'm not going to talk about Fulmination with basic rotation, because with your basic rotation, it's just going to be your Ellie Blast and Lightning Bolt, and it's just going to be those 4 spells. That's your basic rotation to do damage. So, and now, we're going to get to, and okay, as one thing right now that I just want to talk about, is that what you notice right now is that you see those Lava Surge procs right now that I'm getting, where Lava Surge is basically where a Flame Shock dot procs the instant Lava Burst. That's called a Lava Surge proc. Now that is going to be your biggest source of burst. Ascendance is not your biggest source of damage. Your biggest source of damage is your Lava Surge procs. And that's probably what right now most people are QQing about, is that, oh, Ellie's randomly global me. It's not the Ascendance that's OP. It's not the Lava Burst damage that's OP. The problem right now that most people have with is getting like 5 Lava Bursts in a row or something if you have amazing RNG, and each of them proccing Mastery. And if you have Echo the Elements, one of them may proc quadruple Mastery, or like proc quadruple Lava Burst, and that's what's so amazing about Ellie right now, where it does so much damage. So I just wanted to put that out there. So now for the actual burst, there's 2 sources of burst. There's mini burst, which, okay, now I'm waiting for there's a lot of, so now what you're gonna do is you have Unleash Elements into Ellie Blast into an instant Lava Burst into a Fulmination, and that's gonna be your mini burst. Which, if you do that right, if you have a Lava Burst proc, and then you already have a Flame Shock on them, you use Unleash Elements, when you have clear casting up also, you into Ellie Blast, into a full Lava Burst, into a full Fulmination. If you get full RNG and crits with that right there, that mini burst, that can potentially almost global someone. Which is amazing, because that's like, but now obviously, like, this is completely reliant on RNG. But even if you don't global someone, obviously, you can still do a retarded amount of damage. So you're just gonna Unleash Elements, Ellie Blast, into Lava Burst, into a Fulmination. Now obviously my Fulmination there is a lot weaker because I didn't have it, but I just did it anyways. So that's gonna be your mini burst for rotation wise. And now, if you're using Unleash Fury, which I'll go to right now. Now there's no more Ellie Blast, but yeah, well, randomly pops on a Rage. But what this does is, now when you Unleash Elements, the target is taking Lava Burst is going to do a lot more damage, or 10% more damage, and Lightning Bolt is going to do 20% more damage. So that's basically it for rotation with Unleash Elements. You just put a Flame Shock, and whenever Unleash Elements is off, you use that. Spam Lightning Bolts and Lava Bursts whenever you can. And that's basically it. And your Lava Burst is going to do some amazing damage. And your Lightning Bolt is. I mean, that's really pretty much it with Unleashed Fury. And that's why a lot of people are resorting to Unleashed Fury right now, because it makes their life a lot easier. Which I personally don't like the usage of Unleashed Fury as much as I do as Ellie Blast, because this is more consistent damage, but Ellie Blast is a lot more burst if used right. And so, And I usually play with, like, as an Ellie Shaman, you're gonna play with people that already do like decent amount of overall damage, and so I just like to get in that burst, like that super burst whenever I can. But either way, even with Unleash Elements, you're still gonna do retarded burst, so you can go with either one. So going back to Ellie Blast. Now, so that was it for basic rotation with those two spells right there. Now, what you're gonna do with your burst. Now the macro for my burst is gonna be slash cast Ascendance into my on-use trinket, Stormlash, and then Elemental Mastery. I don't use Elemental Mastery, as I said before. For the most part, I do use it sometimes, but I just keep it in my burst just in case. So it's gonna work the same way. I'm gonna use Flame Shock, Lava Burst, get clear casting. Gonna use Unleash Elements into Elemental Blast, get the Elemental Blast proc, and then pop Ascendance. And I usually like to use Spirit Grace during it. I'm just gonna do massive damage. And then, like, the thing about Ascendance that is amazing is that you can get, if you get Lava Surge procs during Ascendance, this is crazy damage. Now if you notice, one of the Lava Bursts had a triple crit. That's amazing. And that's without Echo of the Elements right now. If I had Echo of the Elements, that can go to a quadruple crit, or maybe even more sometimes with amazing RNG. And that's what's amazing about Ellie right now. So if you have Echo Elements and you're doing that, this is incredible. So that's basically your burst. So that's your Ascendance burst right there. It's just literally putting up Elemental Blast buff and then spamming Lava Burst. Now obviously if you have Unleash Fury, you're gonna use Unleash Elements and then spam Lava Burst. Same thing. So the Unleash Fury or Unleash Fury talent with Lava Burst Ascendance is actually a lot stronger than Ellie Blast is, but Ellie Blast is just better for overall burst in general. But your biggest source of burst is going to be Lava Surge procs. It's not Ascendance anymore, and that's why I don't get Ellie Mastery as much. Now, another thing I want to add to what Elemental Shaman is, with the good, amazing part about Elemental Blast is, a lot of people don't get Elemental Blast because they think that they're going to get interrupted on it and they won't be able to cast and stuff. And I think there's a lot of people that use Elemental Blast, that is their problem. They get interrupted on it and it's like, oh, it's such a bad spell, I can't use it against melee or something. But it's actually the quite opposite. As an Ellie, you have the joy of using 3 different spells, or school of spells. Sorry, just random whisper. Alright, you're gonna be basically, you're gonna cast Lava Burst, right? You get interrupted on that. You can cast Lightning Bolts. Let's say you get interrupted on Lightning Bolts. You just start casting Ellie Blast. Now, the biggest thing with this is never cast an Ellie Blast first. You always want to cast Lava Burst or Ellie Lightning Bolt. So if they have an interrupt, even a remote kind of interrupt, like you know they have an interrupt up, do not use Ellie Blast at all. Or if you do use Ellie Blast, which is amazing because everyone wants to interrupt that spell, instantly juke that thing and then go for the different cast or something. But never go for an Ellie Blast all the way right off the back. You can do it right off the back of the arena if you just want the interrupt out of the way and you don't really care, like nothing's gonna happen, go for it. I do that on purpose all the time, where I just get the interrupt out of the way when nothing's going on. But you never should get interrupted on an Ellie Blast. And there's going to be times where you do get interrupted on it. It's not a big deal. It just hurts sometimes. But that way, you just have Lava Burst to get interrupted on, and you have Lightning Bolt to get interrupted on, and then you still have a Ellie Blast. And by that time, one of the other 2 spells are going to be back. So you should almost always be free casting. Like, you'll never have damage not incoming out or outgoing. So that's the amazing part about Ellie and what most people don't realize. So if you're having a problem getting locked out, just make sure you remember that. You don't even have to juke as an Ellie. You can, just to be a boss, with stop casting, which you really should have stopped casting. But that's just how it is. You don't have to juke as an Elemental Shaman if you really don't want to. You'll still get that damage out. And that's basically it for rotation wise. Now here's a clip of one arena match I just had against a pretty good friend of mine. I play against a lot. He's just on his alt monk, and this was just a match to get 2200 on my new Shaman. So I'm just gonna put this out there just because I haven't put out many arena clips in a while. So here we go, and enjoy, guys. Hope this helped.
Putting streams up over here. I just fortified myself. Careful now.
I'm just pulling him back here. Killing pyro fast, dude.
Okay.
Hitting priest.
Yep.
I'm stunned.
We got paralyzed.
Silence.
Maybe
Stunned.
some heals. I'm fearing everything. Everything's feared.
Okay, stun the
Fortify?
healer. I'm gonna hex him out of this.
Fine.
Hitting priest.
Yep. Really
Big damage
hit him
on priest,
hard.
dude.
Same. Really big damage.
Laying silence on healer too.
Use dispersion.
Cloning a monk.
Hitting DK. Hitting DK right
There
now.
we go. Big damage.
Fortify on healer, dude.
Cloning monk. Double clone. This is gonna shoot
Fear
me.
on him too. Kill this guy.
Okay,
Okay,
go back
never
priest. Go back priest.
No, I
Kill-
cloned
kill-
the
kill-
priest. I
ah.
cloned the priest. Sorry.
Okay, we can kill this guy too.
The death knight was so low, dude.
Yeah, it was just in a big monk bubble, so I was just like, I'm gonna stun the healer maybe.
Okay.
Just end
Okay.
right
Stun?
there.
Okay.
Oh,
You
break
can hit
down.
whoever you want, dude.
Priest.
Silence.
Hexing healer full. Shadow melded.
Healing you one. Careful.
Okay.
Disperse. No, because he did. I don't know, like what happens when suddenly
You
I
need to
can't do it.
dispel Soul Reaper, dude. I don't know why you don't dispel Soul Reaper.
What's that?
What do you mean,
Spell
what is
DK.
that?
What is it?
It's a fucking execute that takes your time. Hitting priest with you.
Cloning dead
Same.
man. He just copied that.
I'm cycloned. Come on, man.
Cloning him again.
Pushing him for a fear, maybe?
I'll try to stun him right
Fearing
here.
again.
Just wait like 2
I'm fearing
seconds.
priest in Africa, dude.
Okay.
Hitting priest.
Kill. Alright. Just gonna hit DK because I
Bling
can't.
and silence on
hit
monk,
him.
dude. Biggest damage on priest.
Fight.
Asphyxiated. Killing Death Knight, maybe? Death Knight's really low, dude.
Hexing healer. This priest is amazing now.
Cloning monk.
Alright, hitting priest with you.
Monk trinketed finally.
Hitting him. Maybe. Hitting him, dude.
Yeah. Fuck this fear. Oh my god.
Cloning DK.
Let's go.
And fear?
Armory.
Fear on him. Fear. I got a fear on the monk, dude. Kill
Nice,
this priest
nice,
right
nice.
now.
Cloning
Hitting
DK.
so much damage on him. Trying to stun the monk.
Stunned.
Okay.
Got monk.
I guess they're going for me.
I'm gonna hex out of this.
Okay.
Big damage on
Shoot the
Shadow
hex?
Priest. Yeah, wait, got hex.
Stunned again.
Bling and silence on healer, too, did. I'm feared.
Like this.
Can't.
I'm still feared. Wow.
Fine. I can't get you. You're like in Africa. Death Knight's rooted. Away from us.
Hitting priest?
Yeah.
Wow. Feared.
I dispelled it.
Maybe not. Wait for these guys after you,
Done.
maybe?
Okay.
You okay?
Yeah.
Hitting Death Knight,
Oh, I'm
dude.
getting
Yeah.
courage. I'm getting courage.
Shit.
Fear.
Fear,
Careful.
fear,
Get me.
Armory.
I'm incapped.
Raiding the Death Knight.
I have orbs, dude, for whatever.
Kill the Death Knight. Kill the DK. He has no AMS.
Hitting
Cloning the healer. He's clone.
Big damage on this DK.
Silence Death Knight, dude.
Cloning him again.
Okay. Hexing him. Well, Hex kill him.
Get me
right
out of
here.
this, get me out of this, dude.
Yeah, you're. I need a drink. I'm gonna go drink. I'm gonna drink across the. GK's on me again.
Fearing everything,
Silence?
maybe.
Shit. She's.
You're
Yep, I'm gonna die. Wow. I don't.
Ooh, Sam?
What do you mean?
Spamming
Because-
heals on you. Spamming heals on you. Spamming heals on you.
Kill pet, dude. I guess, maybe.
I'm gonna drink. Drinking. Careful.
Stunning the DK. Hitting
Fine.
DK.
Drinking. Still drinking.
Hitting him.
He's coming for fear. I have tremor. Hexing healer.
So-
The AMS.
I'll be healing tide.
Stunned. I'm popping.
Nice. Let's kill this kid right here.
Pop tree.
Kill him.
Cloning monk.
I'm glad that's up again.
I'm stunned. Can you get me?
Drink priest, dude.
Yes.
He has no peels.
Cloning a monk again. Wow, he's
Doing this guy, dude.
So much damage on him. He's running behind the pillar.
Cloning monk
Fucking
again.
stunned, man. Fling a silence on monk, dude.
I'm feared.
Tremor.
Silence
Oh,
on
I'm
me.
stunned.
Careful.
Tremoring.
Popping tree.
Okay. You
Silence.
just spell
Oh,
Reaper.
I'm silent. Stop, dude. Stunned.
They kick
Drinking.
me.
Hitting DK, dude.
Yeah.
Cloning priest then. Never mind. Not. It's too far away.
Hexing healer.
Nice, you got it. Nice.
So much damage on this kid.
I'm feared. Tricking. Fling a silence on healer, dude. Kill this guy.
Cloning healer.
Oh god.
He's clone full.
Nice.
Oh, really? How do they live?
It's that bubble. So yeah, he's still in unholy presence.
Weird.
Oh fuck,
okay.
oh my god, I'm in trouble.
Careful.
Can you pull me out of this?
Stunned.
Shit.
You're gonna die right now.
I'm incapacitated. You're gonna get a bloom, dude. Can you heal him? Everybody heal. Incapped again? They're stunned?
I stunned the DK, and they're all CC'd.
Okay. Come to me. I got you.
Big damage on
Dude, this guy,
DK.
dude. Silence on him. He can't do anything. Kill him.
Cloning the monk.
1 second horrify on the monk, dude.
He's clone.
I'm feared.
You're getting you. No, you're. It always runs out of my line of sight.
Dude, I'm never dispelled out of a fear.
Tell me when you get that stuff from you. I'm gonna die, maybe.
Here, no, man.
Troubling us.
Wearing DPS, dude. Big damage on Death Knight, dude. The
Okay.
biggest damage in the entire world.
Hexing the monk full. Oh, he shot him.
Stun.
Okay, hexing him now.
Okay. Silence.
Hitting him through this, dude.
Yeah.
Can't get him. Cloning the priest.
I'm feared. Get me out of this, please, dude.
Stun the healer.
Nice, I'm gonna try to fear him.
Cloning priest again.
He's feared, dude. Kill this guy right
Nice.
now. Kill him
He's
right
so
now.
dead.
I'm asphyxiated. Get me out of this. Oh, you
Oh, you
can't.
can't.
Cloning the man. The monk doesn't matter. No, he's line of sight. Priest is trying to fear me. Maybe.
I don't have tremor for 15 seconds.
Okay, I'm horrified.
Hitting priest right now.
Putting up shrooms.
Weird.
Hitting DK, dude.
Getting fear.
Hitting DK really hard, actually.
Okay.
Innervate on me.
Fear on monk, dude. Fear on monk.
Nice.
I'm gonna clone him after that.
Okay. Just gonna mini stun him.
Cloning him. I'm silenced. Trinketing. Cloning him.
So
This
much
guy-
damage on this DK.
He's clone full. He trinketed.
Hitting priest hard too.
Get in your horror.
Alright, hitting priest.
No,
Yeah.
can't get that now.
Fear.
Can't get that.
Fear.
I just dispelled already.
Hitting DK, dude.
Stun.
Yeah.
Arcs.
Yeah.
Nope.
Watch
feared.
out, they're hitting
What
you
the
hard.
fuck is this shit, man? He's gonna incap me. He's feared. Maybe. I'm stunned over here. I haven't been able to play my character in forever.
I'm cloning
This
monk.
DK's
Monk.
taking so much damage right here.
Monk has no trinket. He's full clone.
Hitting him, dude. Hitting him. Finally. Hitting him with you. Like a sound on him.
Healing you. You're fine.
Hexing the monk.
Fearing everything.
Well,
Everything's
hex on
feared,
monk.
dude. Kill this guy.
Cloning him again. How did he not get cloned? Cloning him again. I'm gonna clone the DK. Cloning DK.
Okay.
Silence. Never mind. We're gonna get feared. Feared.
I'm incapped for a little bit. Monk is like completely owned. I have big damage again, dude.
Okay.
Getting my
Same.
horrified.
Got Monk in a fear, dude. Monk's full
Priest.
feared. He's trinketed. He's tricking it into another fear, dude. Kill this
Hexing him,
guy.
hexing him again, hexing him.
Clone him
Oh my
up.
god, so much
Okay.
damage right here.
I'm waiting. Cloning him on. Cloning him. He's cloned.
Beam the other kid. Shit, oh my god, feared.
I'm
Full
feared,
fear.
I'm feared, I'm feared.
Oh my gosh. Kill him!
I can't
full
get
feared.
to him, dude.
It's ridiculous.
Wow.
Live lords. Cloning
Stunning.
priest.
Okay, stun the other two, nice.
Fearing everything.
Big damage on DK.
Biggest
right
damage on this guy, dude.
here.
God, you
Yes.
fucking
Jesus
faggot.
Christ.
Alright, please be decently. Please give me 9 points. Let's say it was like 8 points.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wow.
DKs.
Alright, yeah, I need to make calls. Fuck.
Alright.
I'm sorry,
good
nerds.
shit.
I'm not a nerd.